What is up, YouTube family? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to finally finish off the Lake Eufaula South breakdown and the entire breakdown for Lake Eufaula on the Google Earth side. We still have to go through the Navionics mobile app and show you guys the contours for all the offshore hotspots. Those probably won't take nearly as long as the Google Earth stuff did. But tonight's video is number 7 on the Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma breakdown. We got some good stuff for you. Let's go. Here we are back on Eufaula, still in Google Earth. I believe this is our 7th episode now for Lake Eufaula. And believe it or not, guys, I think we're actually getting pretty close to being done with the Google Earth stuff. So pretty cool stuff. If you missed the other videos, we've actually broken down this lake. We started over here on the northeast side. So that would be what we call Eufaula East. So anything east of Highway 69, north of Highway 9 there, that's Eufaula East. We covered all that area. Then we switched over. We covered Eufaula north and west of Highway 69. So this would be the west side and the north side. So we covered all of that. And then in the last couple of videos, we've been talking about the south side. So anything south of Highway 9 and really east of Highway 69. So we covered all of that. We stopped in here. We cut another video. We came up here. And when we finished on our last video, we actually finished right here off of this Cardinal Point recreational area. So that's where we're going to start at tonight. As far as how we have these things categorized on the left-hand side, you're going to be able to see all these. We've got bridges and culverts. Now, know that we can't validate each one of these. This is all information that we're getting from either Navionics or other types of contour mapping where it tells us there's bridges and culverts there. So definitely do some scanning around. Those are great places to fish, and you can see that we've got several of them here on the lake that you can see here. We've also got brush piles. So Oklahoma Fisheries actually put a bunch of brush piles in this area, and the spot we're getting ready to start on actually has a ton of them that are out there. So we'll talk about all those that are out there. They may not be brush piles. They could be just fish attractors, PVC attractors. We're going to call them brush piles for now, but know that they could just be fish attractors, not necessarily brush piles. We've also got channels and ditches. Those are going to be these little green lines that you see. There's not too many of them on the video that we're going to cover today, but there's a few. And these are channels and ditches that we were able to see by pulling the water down. So if we take this as an image from 2021 and we draw it back to 2011, we can actually see the little channel there that it's creating and be able to mark it for you guys. So some pretty cool stuff in there. And then last but not least, or not last, but I guess keep going, we're going to go to the offshore hotspots. Now, the offshore hotspots will only show up on the date that I actually imported them in. So it's kind of a weird deal that Google Earth has. But once I do it, you'll see that they all start popping up, and we're able to see all the different offshore stuff that's out here. So we'll talk about those as well on another video. When we come back, we'll use the Navionics mobile app, the boating app, to actually show you why we picked those spots as being offshore spots. We've also got ramps, lots of different ramps on this lake. Definitely a good pattern that you can run, just running ramp to ramp to ramp. We've also got lots of different rock formations and things like that to take a look at. So lots of good stuff going on over here. And then we have structure and cover, that whether that be houses, flats, humps, all kinds of good stuff to look at there. It could be man-made structure as well. Really, when we're talking an offshore structure, we're talking more offshore hotspots. So let's go ahead and select all of this again. And what we're going to do is we're going to hide this side over here. And we're going to zoom in to right in here. This is actually where we stopped at. I'm going to take the date back, and I'm going to draw it back to about 2012 or 2011. Somewhere in there, see what gives us the best image. This is 2012, which gives us a pretty good image. You can tell the water's down. We're starting to see road beds and stuff like that. Let's go to 2011, see if it gives us any better. I think 2011 may be a little bit better image for us. Let's go ahead and start there. So remember, we ended at Cardinal Point right here. And then now we're going to go ahead and move on up. Now, one thing I noticed right here that I can see that we missed is there's some road beds right in here. And so you may want to follow these out and see how far out in there they go. But there's definitely a couple road beds right there that we missed. You want to check those out. Then moving up here, didn't really see too much on that bank line. You maybe have a little bit of riprap right there where you see that gray. I don't know if that's riprap or Yeah, it's just kind of like this shallow, sandy stuff. It's not even riprap. Maybe some light rock, but nothing too crazy. Now you do have some pretty good rock that's right in here as well. So I'll go ahead and mark those right now. Not sure what happened there. I think when we moved our waypoints around, we lost some of these. So I'm going to go ahead and mark what I can while we're on the video. If I see stuff that we missed, I'll go ahead and mark for you. But these two spots right here, just outside of this, they look pretty good. I mean, they look like some pretty good little rock points that come out that you could check out. You've also got a few more rock piles up here. These aren't as good as what we saw there, but you definitely have a few there. And then moving up, you've got a little bit more right in here. So maybe checking out like this point right here where this rock is, that could be pretty decent too. So let's go put a point there. And then obviously you'd want to come down here and check those out. So let's go up here though, where the good stuff starts. We've got a culvert that's out here. We've got some house foundations out here as well, some bridges. And we'll talk about those again when we move over to the navionic side and talk about contours. But really, when you get in the back of this pocket, there's nothing crazy that we found from Google Earth, but it looks super awesome because of all the information that we were able to get from the Oklahoma fisheries department. So you can see back here, you got a boat ramp back here. I don't even know. I assume you can get back in here. If you can get back in here, you got a pretty good little creek that comes back here too. You can check out. Not a lot of rock or anything that really jumped out to us. You do have a boat ramp that's here, but look at all these different fish attractors. You've got a bunch of them. They are all over the place. There's a bridge. There's a railroad under here. Another bridge here. You can see this roadbed. So really, you could fish all along the roadbed, but you definitely want to focus in on these little openings that are here. This other roadbed back here. Look at all the brush piles that are back in this area. There's just a ton of them back there. I say brush piles, but fish attractors. So if you're a crappie fisherman, definitely a great place to go see if you can find some crappie. You've got a lot of different waypoints there to go check out. And if you're a bass fisherman, same exact thing. Look at all the fish attractors you could just run really easily right there in that little pocket or that bay, whatever you want to call it. But you could basically run a ton of piles, a ton of attractors in a very short amount of time. So really good place right there. And if that pattern was on and those attractors were on and you were able to find 5 or 6 of them that were firing, and then you come over here and find 2 or 3 of these firing as well, that's tournament winning pattern right there that you could definitely look at. So something good to look at there. Let's keep moving on up, see what else we can find. As we get up here, we got some offshore stuff, nothing too crazy. And then we move up here, some more house foundations. It's getting really sandy. Notice we're not seeing a lot of rock anymore. Bridges, another house foundation, a little fish attractor back there as well. Decent little creek channel that comes up through here. So you can see that. And then there's a bridge back here somewhere. You can kind of see the remnants of an old road. So that's probably right where that bridge is as well. As we move on down, get a little bit further down here, closer towards the point. This point looks pretty decent. I would definitely fish it. Looks like it's got a little bit of rock around it as well, but it's all the way up the bank line, but maybe just fishing around the point. You've also got the boat ramps that are out here. There's another slab that's out here as well. So here's the slab. Here's another boat ramp right in there, another slab, another one of those fish attractors. Maybe even right in here. I know you've got this scattered rock. It all kind of looks the same, but this looks maybe just a little bit more unique, right to the, just right past that truck. Looks like a little bit bigger rock or something. Something's a little bit different about it. So I'd probably go check in there. Pretty good little flat back in here too. That's pretty well protected. Then as we spin out and we get out here, we're going to go off to more of the main lake side. I can't remember if we covered the rock alongside this island. I'm sure we did. But if not, let's just look at it really, really quick. So we got a lot of different areas of rock, heavier rock, almost like little individual rock piles going all the way up the side of this island. I think we covered that on the last one, but I just wanted to go ahead and mark that one to show you guys that. And then we're going to move on up. As we move up here again, I mean, if these fish attractors are firing and you can get this thing going, typically it's a summertime or late spring type thing. Could also be a good wintertime thing, but great places to go find fish, and they've set them up perfectly for you. If you got a really good area in here, it's called Area 51 Marina. You got a good offshore spot there. You got some culverts that are out there as well. And then you just got a lot of rock all along these little bank lines, but it's that shallower rock. There's not shallow, but just kind of scattered rock. You'll find a few piles here, but they're very scattered, nothing too crazy. Got maybe a little ditch that comes through there that you could check out, but nothing too crazy on this side that I'm seeing so far that really sticks out, other than just finding those little rocky areas where those fish may be. Now, obviously, you got some docks here. You don't have too many docks in this lake, so that could be a pattern as well. Now, as we move up, we're getting a lot deeper and just not seeing much in here. until we get all the way out here into this area. Let me go ahead and turn this back on, make sure I'm showing everything here. I want to make sure I'm not hiding something. I'm going to go ahead and select all these. And then what we're going to do is go back in here. Now, again, we've got a lot of just docks, not a lot of things to really point out to you guys. I don't see anything that's really sticking out, except for this little point in here. We're probably going to talk about that. Looks like we may have missed some spots, or maybe not. But let's move back here and let's talk about what we got back here. Now, back here, we've got a really good flat, right? Real good flat right in here. Plus, you've got a little creek channel that's coming behind it. This could be a really good spot come springtime. Springtime right now in March, I would definitely come back here and take a look at this. The problem with this area, though, from a spawning standpoint, they're getting ready to spawn, is that you get a lot of washout from these creeks, and it's going to muddy this area up, and they might not like that. So you may have to go try to find some stuff that's a little more protected, stuff like this where it's kind of out of that dirty water. But let's keep going up here. I didn't see too much again on these bank lines. Nothing's really standing out. This little hump that's right here, though, you could take a look at this. It's got some interesting stuff on it. Let's go ahead and mark that thing, because that could be an interesting spot for them to hang out around. So we'll go ahead and mark that and add that one in as well. And then we're going to come up this bank line. You can see really, you just want to kind of hit these points. It's got the same kind of rock going throughout. It's probably why we didn't mark it as rock. But all these points where you find these rock or these points, fish the points at least. I know it takes a long time to go down the bank lines, but fish these little points, like this spot right here that we see right here, this little point. That's going to be a good little spot to fish. And then kind of move up and find your next point and see if you can find anything in here. It's all just a bunch of rock. There's nothing too special about it. Maybe a good little spot back in here in this little pocket. But again, you got another point here that has some pretty good rock on it. That's definitely a point that I would fish as well. Got another one right in here too. Nothing really too special about it, but they're just main lake points. You want to fish them. There could be stuff out there as well. This one doesn't look as good as the other ones, but it definitely has some stuff. And then as you get up here, you really get into some pretty good flats. You've got some pretty good flats all right along in this area. So we've marked them all for you. And you can even see them on Google Earth. We've marked the flats probably with the Navionics side, but you can see them on Google Earth because it looks like it gets brown in those areas. And those are really high flat areas, shallow flat areas that those fish would really like to get up on and feed on. You can see again, we got some more offshore stuff going on out there. Let me go ahead and take off these other ones because I believe we're almost done. But as we get up here, again, some more flats to go take a look at. When you're out there too, notice this little ditch that's right here. Might just want to go scan that, because sometimes it's those little bitty places that are just a hair bit different. Maybe it drops down, just a foot or 6 inches, but they'll collect in those little spots sometimes, and this can be magical. So you'll definitely want to go look at that. We'll talk about this offshore stuff when we come back. And then the last spot here is just this boat ramp to look at. So that really covers us for all of Lake Eufaula. We finally have completed this lake. We went through all those waypoints. Crazy, crazy, crazy. It took us 7 videos. Now it's time to switch over and talk to you guys about the offshore stuff. I think the offshore stuff on this lake is phenomenal. Lots and lots of opportunities. So lots of stuff to talk to you guys about. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave me a like if you can. I'd appreciate that. And make sure to go out and check out our website, simplisticfishing.com. We have all these waypoints out there and available to you where you can take them, put them on an SD card, put them on your graph, and have them when you're out there on the water. It will change the way you fish. I promise you that. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.